Hi there, this is Justin Krane, Certified Financial Planner Professional and founder of Krane Financial Solutions. Welcome to Money You Got This. So how can you really live? How? By uniting your business money, your personal money with your life and your business. Word up.
Krane Financial is an SEC-registered investment advisor. However, such registration does not imply a certain level of skill or training, and no inference to the contrary should be made. A copy of our current written disclosure statement discussing our advisory services and fees is available upon request. Information contained herein is for informational and illustrative purposes only, and general in nature. It should not be considered specific financial planning or investment advice, or a recommendation to buy or sell any type of securities or other investment products.
Hey everyone, welcome to the show Money You Got This. This show is brought to you by Krane Financial Solutions. I'm Justin Krane. I'm a certified financial planner professional, and I offer investment management services and act as a fractional CFO to business owners. I'm psyched you're listening to the show. I want to give you this free report, 3 things multimillionaires do to grow their wealth. Just go to coolmoneyshow.com to grab it. That's coolmoneyshow.com to grab it. Thanks. Today we have someone who is not a New York Times bestseller. She is not on the cover of Time magazine. She is one of those people that is one of those quiet, smart powerhouses that you know that are out there, but has a lot to say, and I think is pretty awesome. So today I want to bring you Suzanne Mitchell. Suzanne Mitchell is the co-founder and matriarch of Zamar Screen Printing, not to be confused with Babar Screen Printing, which I used to read to my kid. Suzanne and her husband, Harold, started Zamar Screen Printing in their garage like 5 minutes ago in 1993. And now they have an office in Hudson. That's in Colorado, right, Suzanne?
Yes,
Yep.
it is.
She is an award-winning networker. Ooh, I want to hear about that. And has helped grow her business for over 25 years. So Suzanne has been using her gifts and talents to serve her loyal clients. In her business, Suzanne loves helping businesses find the right promotional item to make them stand out. Suzanne, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
So let's start off by just talking a little bit about marketing in general. And I'll date the podcast and say we're in the coronavirus pandemic and all of that kind of stuff. And a lot of people are paranoid, is that a word? About what to do. And they're just kind of like hiding and hunkering down and not doing a lot. I know that was my first reaction until I was like, dude, I got to get over myself. So can you talk to us about what you think business owners need to be doing right now with respect to their marketing?
My personal opinion is they need to be touching their people. This is the time you've got to be interacting with your people, making sure they're okay, checking up on them, seeing what they need, what are their fears going into the next few months. And if you're just genuinely there for them and really checking in and caring what they think, it opens up a lot of opportunities. People are more open with what they are really afraid of than you think if you just ask.
Yeah, I think a lot of times when we hear that we've got to touch our clients or our prospects, we kind of have our own agenda of what we want to talk about versus what I think you're implying, which is just to ask and see how they're doing and see either how you could help them or what their problems are. I'm kind of guessing. Can you talk more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. We personally, for our business, send out a postcard campaign to all of our clients. This is once a month. This is all the time. But it just says, hey, how you doing? How was your holiday? How was your not salesy? You cannot have a sales pitch thinly veiled as you think it is. It's not going to be veiled. So you really have to reach out and just see how people are doing. Ask questions. If you have a staff, maybe they call some of your people and say, how are you hanging on during this time? What do you need from us? What would you like to see? You want to know what we're doing to, say, protect the practice, or what are we doing differently in their business? They really want to hear that you're noticing they maybe need something different and just checking in with them, not selling them something, just checking in and seeing how they're doing.
All right, let me ask you the $14.08 question. How do you stand out when you're checking in with someone on marketing? How do you, like, I get some of the postcards, and when I get them, I'm like, I don't even look at them. So if you're going to send a postcard or something, how do you stand out so that your client or your prospect actually like stops and is like, oh, it's a purple cow, you know, like how do you do that?
Well, I think you do have to pick a subject that's interesting, whether it's timely, whether it's an event, say a holiday. And mine are handwritten. Mine are not printed postcards. That's
Oh,
my number
okay.
one suggestion. So the front may say a St. Patrick's Day funny. It's actually got a really funny picture of St. Patrick's Day on the back, you know, wishing you blessings. I pay another staff member to hand address them all. And then whoever that account is, that salesperson, we write a personal note. Hey, I saw you have a new grandbaby. Hey, I saw you. And so we're trying to keep up with our people on Facebook, LinkedIn, paying attention and writing those things down, making notes of those things that make you personally connected with them a little bit. If you're a doctor, you may have notes from last time we're there. Hey, how was your Caribbean vacation? Nobody knows that you didn't write that. You can even have a staff member do that, but connect with them personally. That's the whole key. That's how you stand out. If you're group marketing, you're not standing out.
Love it. Hello, people. If you're actually listening, I'm ringing a horn. Personal, handwritten notes. I love it. I love it. Even better, where like we've done this a little bit, where you can kind of like follow them on social media and then write something about what you see on there. So a handwritten note is awesome.
And it's not stalking if they put it on social media.
Yeah.
So to look at it and say what you noticed is good.
Now, I've already spoken with you, and we've had a few good conversations, and I know that you are a very sharp cookie. You're not really a cookie, but we'll go with that term. I mean, you talked about something that I'd like you to expand on, because I want people to hear it from your perspective. You're paying someone else to handwrite these notes and, you know, implement your marketing plan. So you obviously believe that you need to delegate, and sometimes that costs money. Can you talk about that? And anything about scaling and growing a business with respect to delegation and paying people to do stuff?
Absolutely. You can't continue to do everything in your business, and you have to choose the things that are worth your time. It's worth my time to write the personal notes, but it's not worth my time to order the postcards, have somebody else address them, to pay a $15 or $20 hour an employee to address those hardly costs me anything. That's way too much of my time. I need my time is much more precious than that. So I need time to be really working with clients. So it's worth paying those kind of dollars to people who can expand your business well beyond what you're worth. I'm worth way more than $15 an hour. So I shouldn't do $15 an hour tasks. I need to be delegating those because those build my business so much more than the things I just do daily to talk to clients. That's a huge build thing.
So this is a show about money and life and business, right? So do you look at how much money you want to invest either in marketing or in your business each quarter, or do you just have like a set number? How do you decide how much money you're going to invest? And notice I say invest and not spend, because I want an ROI on it, right? So how do you decide what you're going to invest each quarter and come up with a game plan on that?
We look at a percentage of sales. We say, okay, we need to at least spend 10% back into whatever sales have been. So that can change. Sometimes we decide yearly, but then we absolutely invest that, whether it's back into Google Words, paying people to do things, whatever that is, we have to put that much back into marketing or things fall flat. You can watch it fall flat.
Do you have a line item on the P&L called like marketing or something like that?
Yes, it's all collected within marketing. I actually have postcards as a line item, social media, whichever line item that I'm actually spending. I keep track of it because I want to know if I'm spending a certain amount in social media and I see sales increase, I need to maybe up that and lower Google AdWords or whatever. I'm watching which items are bringing these kind of clients in and then adapting from there.
I love it. I have a two-part question. It has nothing to do with anything. First, what'd you have for breakfast this morning?
I had cottage cheese and strawberries,
That's
actually.
awesome. And are those flowers real in the background or no?
They're not. That's just an arrangement that sits on
Well,
there.
for this show, they look very high end, and I really really like them, and they're awesome. All right,
Thank you.
let's get back to the regular programming. Um, so how now you're in a business which is in the promotional products space. How do you make your business be viewed not as a commodity, but more as a relationship with your clients? How do you do that?
Well, number one, by starting real relationships. Nothing is just a transaction. So if you call me and say, I want to buy a pen, I'm not just going to go, okay, what pen, write it up, and now we're done. That's not how this goes. I want to know, what are you doing with it? Who are you giving it to? Why are you choosing a pen? What kind of budget do you have? Are you going to a trade show? I ask a lot of questions that really help narrow down who are you giving this to and why, and then I help you track your ROI on that. Because if you're just going someplace and handing out bulk stuff and doing nothing to get anything in return, you're not, you might as well go through paper, you might as well go through anything. My products are not the magic answer. It's what you do with them and how you hand them out and how you do this that makes all the difference.
How do you track the ROI on it?
Sorry, my earbuds are
I'll ask it
malfunctioning.
again. I'll ask it again.
Okay.
What did you have for lunch today?
What did I have for lunch today?
Oh, how do you track the ROI on you know on either the promotional products that your clients buy from you or the campaigns that they create?
It depends upon where avenue they're giving it out in. In a trade show arena, I want you people to collect a certain amount of lead sheets that they're following up, or they're sending them to a landing page to download something and get something because they got the pin. They know to go to this landing page so you can track it that way. You know, personally, I'm handing things out, knowing, keeping track of them. I'm physically keeping track of. We had these campaign that I handed out these 20 mugs. This is who it went to. This is the message we had. How many turn around and become consistent clients? I have to keep track of that, not just, it's all in the tracking and the follow up and the continuing to be in their world and being interested in them. And that's the whole key.
You have a lot of clients. I know that you do a fair amount in the trade show space. Do you have a lot of clients that are trade show exhibitors that derive a lot of their business from that, or is that just part of their overall business?
I think it's just part of their overall business, but even businesses that say go to a fair or a single trade show or a single whatever, that can be a huge part of your business. I've seen small businesses reinvent themselves by going to a good trade show that's very targeted, that they catch their clients there, give them the right thing, do the right follow-up, and scale their business tremendously. So a
That's great.
trade show can be a single piece, not necessarily what you always do, but it can be very effective.
That's cool. What are you doing right now with the fact that no one can go to trade shows and like the people are having to kind of like retool their marketing plan? What, and maybe let's say it's this way for 6 months. Let's just say, what would you tell a business owner that does a lot of their business by traveling and seeing people face to face for new business, and now they can't?
No, I think Zoom meetings and virtual meetings are very, very effective. I think
Hmm.
you can convey your message there, but then you need to follow up, which means send a handwritten postcard. I had the best Zoom ever with you. And then if it looks like it's going to turn into something, mail them things. So, you know, we have at home work things. Your targeted marketing needs to be very scaled to what's going on. If everybody's home right now, then you need to be giving away things that are maybe useful for them at home. You need to be working on things that are appropriate for this market, and you can't be selling a lot right now. You can be there, and when they ask, it's fine, but I think it's a fine line right now how much you can ask. You can't
Yeah.
ask, you know, people are, that's going to get better. That's not going to go on, I don't think, 6 months personally, But until quarantine-ish lifts, I think we have to be careful.
What are you guys doing differently, like to deal with all of this in your business?
We're sort of considered the essential because we are printing for ambulances, hospitals, people that are still very much operational. So
Hmm.
I'm on a scale back situation, but myself and my staff people are pretty much working at home. I'm doing a lot of podcasts. I'm getting out there and trying to talk to people who need to hear encouraging news and hearing about their circumstances and knowing it's not forever and encouraging them. I'm doing a lot of that. I'm getting on Zooms with my clients that are at home and I'm like, how are you doing? What are you making for dinner? Do you need
Yeah.
recipe ideas? I'm just being a resource as much as I can.
You're showing up
Yep,
with cottage cheese and strawberries.
that's right.
That's
That's
so
the
cool.
plan.
Um, okay, so you have a lot of employees?
There's 5 of us, so I don't have a ton.
Wow. That's great. I actually I wanted to talk about, because I believe in this a lot, and I'd love to have you go through this with me because I want people to learn from you. And I think one of the best ways to learn and to grow your business is actually through demonstrating real time what you do and how you do it. So I'm going to be the victim, the
My
prospect, right?
client. All right.
And I'm going to tell you my problem. And I want you to create from the seat of your pants, things that you think that I should be doing. Because I really want people to learn from you and to how you think. Now, guys listening, Suzanne and I've never talked to Suzanne about my business, what my problems are, what my issues are, anything like that. So I'm going to just go right into it. So right now, in this period of time, I am in major client service mode with respect to the coronavirus, talking to all of my clients all of the time. On top of that, I'm also teaching one of my kids PE in the morning. I'm also loading and unloading the dishwasher, doing laundry, comforters, blankets, taking the trash out. I mean, I take the trash out, but not as much as I have. It's like Groundhog Day. I literally think I'm channeling Bill Murray. So it's major client service, major. And I'm very good at retention, and I think we can get better at that. But what I think I need to be doing is reaching out to 25, 50 people that have either, had a call with me, but really, they didn't become a client or whatever. And they're just kind of out there. Maybe their own financial advisor isn't following up with them, or maybe they are on their own and they don't know what to do. So there's this whole opportunity for me to follow up with them. And my first issue is how do I restart a dialogue with them? The second thing is how do I do it in a way that is what you're advising, which is like listening, asking, checking in, and all of that. And then how do I create a campaign that can be systematized? I have I have 3 employees. They're part-time, but they're close to be full-time, but part-time. And one of them in particular could really help me. So how do I do all of this? And my own style is professional, clever, and classy/elegant. Even though I haven't shaved today, no one can really see that. No, I think did I shave today? I forget. Who knows?
It
But
all runs together.
that's my problem, and I want to stand out. And I'll give you one example that we did with some clients. We sent them a small tree for Arbor Day, and I had a little thing saying, here's to you. Hope you're doing well. Grow this for your financial future, something like that. So that's an example of something that we did. But I'm really interested in the prospects and the people that haven't followed through with me. What should I do and how should I do it?
Wow, that's a big one. Well, some of the first things that came to mind is that 25 or 50 is a relatively small group if
Mm-hmm.
these are people you want to reconnect with. But I would qualify them first somehow, whether that's a phone call that says, hey, we spoke 3 months ago, 6 months ago, whatever. you weren't in the market or you weren't ready for this, whatever, have a conversation.
Yeah.
If it goes someplace, then I think they go into, A pile. This is going to be something, B nothing, you're going to have to divide them up a little bit. I think content is king. I think if you can offer them something that's free, but informative, very creative from your end and your speak, it's just a small download. You can capture their emails and then obviously get them into some sort of drip campaign. I don't know.
Okay, I have their email. I have their email.
Okay, so you already have it. So maybe you just need to send them this free item, whatever this is. If it's a one-page how to survive this or tips or something that's different, a way that you handle this differently. Obviously, financial market is in a freak out mode.
Yeah.
Regular people, you're not, I'm sure, but people are. So, you need to give them information that's not freak out. And then if you get any engagement, that's when I really suggest you send them something. But, and right now I suggest home items, bamboo cutting boards. What are people doing they haven't done in a long time? That's cook.
Got it.
With their family games, anything they can do that these things that are good that have come out of this quarantine, sort of highlight them. Cooking with your family is great. Playing games with your family is great. If your name's on it and it somehow engages them back to you, it's like, oh yeah, when we were really struggling, I remembered him. Yeah. He helped me. He encouraged me. That's,
So do you think, see, in my view, I'm like, okay, a PDF of some free report or whatever, like, to me, that just marginalizes me. I feel like, they can get any of that anywhere. But a physical thing that you're talking about, like something that's very timely with the coronavirus, that interests me. So let me ask you this, because I'm sure people are thinking about this. Do you send this gift? And actually, I want to ask you about the law of reciprocity. So I'm going to come back to that. I want to curious what you think about that. But when you send them this thing, do you put your company logo on it, or is that too hokey and you just send it like just the way it is?
I would definitely put your logo on it. It does not have to be gigantic and flashy and all over the place on a beautiful little bamboo board. If it's just in the corner small, it's still there. It's still you. Because if you send it without that, you're really lost. You've got to somehow remind them that it's you. That's the whole game with giving them something logoed. It needs to be, I think it needs to absolutely remember you.
Do you think most people's logos stink?
No, I don't think most logos. I think logos, as long as they mean something to you, usually can be reproduced in a way. If they're gaudy and terrible, I've had to tell people, well, that's not really going to work. How about this? But in general, most people have a simplified or modified version they can use that works for promotional items. It doesn't have to have your website and your address and your phone number. It doesn't have to be, just it's your logo, your name, whatever that is. A great saying, a great saying goes a long ways with your name.
I love it. So the law of reciprocity is all about, like, if you're going to give something to someone, they're going to feel compelled to somehow reciprocate and give something in return. What do you think about that?
I think they want to work with you. I think when you give them a memorable item that caught them at the right time with the right message, they feel compelled to want to reach out and work with you. If it's a cheap nothing, they don't. But if it's something of value, they're like, oh, this guy's really got some class. I want to work with him. I think I want to,
So I go down the path of wanting to send them something physical for their house. I even want to take it deeper because I really think this is important for people to learn. I don't even know the answer, but I know it's an issue because I used to get really into the psychology of a buyer, and I just I'm fascinated by it. So you're there, you're profiling me, you're taking some notes, then you're going to go back to your drawing board and come up with some sort of plan of what you think I should be doing. And then you're going to present me with some ideas and some options. And then it's going to be back in my court as to whether I want to make a decision to buy whatever it is that you're recommending. So when you're doing this with a client, someone like me, what I've seen is if you give the buyer 7,000 choices, the buyer is going to be confused and the buyer's not going to be able to make a decision. It's kind of like, you know, sitting down at the Cheesecake Factory and looking at their menu and you're like, I don't know what I'm going to get. I need 30 minutes to read through it. So when you're presenting your ideas, do you actually put thought into how many you want to show me? Because I'm going to be too confused if I see a gazillion. And are you going to take me? And do you think business owners overall should do that so that they're not going to lose a buyer who is going to be confused and overwhelmed in what your offer is?
Absolutely. People cannot handle too many choices. It's just too hard. It becomes so overwhelming. So before I would even send you choices, I'd have had a little deeper conversation with you. Be like, so you like this idea of the kitchen item. So
Okay.
how many you really think you're going to send? I would really narrow down a lot farther. Like,
Yeah.
what is your budget? How many are you thinking? Are
Yeah.
these higher end households? Are these lower end?
Yeah.
So I'm going to have narrowed it down so far that I'm only going to have 6-ish items.
Got it.
I feel really match what you and I talked about to begin with. So that's where I'm different than working with somebody in a catalog online. You could go shop online for cutting boards. Of course you could, but you're going to get 87 choices. Well, I'm going to narrow it down to the 5 that I know are quality. Last, you said you were elegant. I'm assuming you work with higher end clients. You work with people that are going to have established houses. We need to find something a little more unique. It's not going to be your average board everybody else has. It's got to have do with something a little different. Be a bar board. Off the top of my head, I don't have, but it needs to be something different. So I'm going to try to help you narrow down before you have to do all that so that you only have 5. Then we can have another conversation and narrow it down to 2 or change bases if that didn't hit the mark. Got it.
Yeah, I think that's really smart. And I think that's good for people listening that, you give people too many choices, forget it, you're going to lose them. I'm curious just about your company overall and whether you're making a decision to want to grow it now or just maintain in light of the coronavirus. Like, do you want to grow or are you like, look, we got to just service our people and that's the biggest thing right now? Service your client. Do you want to bring on more clients or do you want to just work with the clients that you have? And if you bring some on, that's okay. So it's really about growth in this coronavirus crisis.
Personally, I'm all for the growth right now because I'm watching things change. I'm watching people that were in my industry get out. They've retired, they've moved on. They're going to do something different. I'm seeing new businesses develop that need me. New businesses are like, how do we market? What do we do? Don't make the same mistakes so many others do. So I feel like right now we have a lot to give to businesses that are growing and changing. So I hope this is a growth year for us. I will be out looking for that. I will never stop servicing my clients and being there for them, but there's room for both for us. I have enough staff, I can do both. We need to be servicing well, but I'm absolutely looking for people who are not serviced by their current provider. This is the perfect opportunity for me to find those people. It's like, no, I never heard from my people.
Do you have a metric that you're trying to achieve, like a percentage of increase in sales? Do you think like that, or you just be like, hey, we want to grow?
I definitely think like that. We grew up by almost 50% last year, which is crazy after
That's
27
insane.
years. It was insane. It was an insane year. It was a lot of different things. It was insane. So my goal for this year was 20. If I could get above 20, I was going to be happy. But we were heading way higher than that in January, February, and then we'll see.
How did you grow by that big of a? Did you get like 4 big orders or what?
I gained probably 10 big clients that were new to us. I had a lot of clients who just had money. The economy was going well. They were able to really thank their people. They were able to thank their big clients. A lot of it was that. The same clients I had just had higher volume. They were just doing more. They were more active. And so part of it was that we were more active online. We were more active locally. I can attribute it to a lot of things. It wasn't a single thing that helped us develop that high.
That's pretty cool that it was a lot of different things. Do you think that you intentionally, we haven't talked anything about mindset, so I want to bring in a little bit of that. Did you change your mindset and be like, I'm like taking no prisoners, like we're going to do this? Or were you more just balanced? Did you take more breaks? Did you take more vacations? Did you journal more? Did you meditate? Did you do nothing?
I took more vacations. I definitely took more time for me last year. I said, I'm going to do this, this, and this. And I had a trip a month, whether it was just a weekend, going away, whatever it was. I took care of me. But I did a vision board at the beginning of the year, and I decided that I was enough and it was all about me, which in 27 years, this business has never been all about me. I'm not that person. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to own it. I'm good enough to make this business happen. And I owned it last year, and I made changes. And I do think that's what it was. It was all those changes together, but I owned it. I'm like, yeah, I have a lot to offer. People want to work with me.
That is so cool. You're awesome. I know that there was something that you wanted to talk about, which was either a report or something, a PDF that people can get about trade shows. Is that, you want to just talk about that for a minute?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you'll share the link where they can get to it. But I have a really great PDF that's 7 tips and tricks on a successful trade show. And it gives you just some real brief, what could you do? How do you do different? How should you collect? And how to really get your ROI. But the bottom line is work with somebody, talk that through, have a plan, no matter what you're doing for marketing. That's the bottom line. Have a plan, think it out, know how you're going to track it, and then do it. Just do it.
That's great. So where can people go to get more information about you and connect with you?
I am on LinkedIn, and I believe that will be shared at the end also. We have a website. It's Zamar Inc., ZAMARINC.com. Love to reach out, and certainly would take phone calls. We're on Facebook. We're pretty easy to find.
ZAMAR Inc. INC.com.
INC. Yep.
Great. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Suzanne. Great to have you.
Great to have. Thank you for letting me be here. I appreciate it.
Have a question? Want to get in touch with us? Need some help and advice with your finances? Just go to coolmoneyshow.com and reach out to us. That's coolmoneyshow.com.
Krane Financial Solutions is an SEC-registered investment advisor. However, such registration does not imply a certain level of skill or training, and no inference to the contrary should be made. A copy of our current written disclosure statement discussing our advisory services and fees is available upon request. Information contained herein is for informational and illustrative purposes only and general in nature. It should not be considered specific financial planning or investment advice, or a recommendation to buy or sell any type of securities or other investment products. No investment decision should be made based solely on any information provided herein. We do not provide legal, accounting, or tax services. We recommend that all investors seek out the services of competent professionals in any of the aforementioned areas. Certain information provided has been obtained from third-party sources that we believe reliable. However, it's not been independently verified and is not guaranteed.